Hello there. Joe Biden just lost Virginia to a Trump-backed candidate. So, other than the new Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin, you tell me who just won that election. As per usual, please like, subscribe and comment below. And when subscribing, please do press that little bell, but also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. This will put a rather large Republican cat amongst some rather complacent Democrat pigeons, because the state of Virginia has just flipped red as the Donald Trump-backed GOP candidate Glenn Youngkin beats off his Democrat opponent Terry McAuliffe in the state's gubernatorial elections by just about 51% to 49%. And Youngkin has declared this as a defining moment. Now, this is a high-profile election in the US, and the state of Virginia is being seen as a bit of a bellwether for the future. And Youngkin made gains across the whole state, having turned a 10-point loss in Virginia in the 2020 presidential elections into a 2-point victory less than a year later. And when looking at the maps of the results, comparing Democrat blue with Republican red, the scope of coverage of his win is very emphatic. He obviously had wide support. Not only that, Youngkin becomes the first Republican governor of Virginia since 2010. Then there's the win by the Republican Winsome Sears, who will take over the role of Lieutenant General of the state from the Democrat Justin Fairfax next year. And the win by Republican Jason Miyares for the post of Attorney General, who will now relieve the Democrat Mark Herring of the post in January. And that means the state of Virginia has also elected its first black woman lieutenant governor and its first Latino attorney general, both Republicans. On top of that, the last time I looked, the Republicans had won 49 of the seats in the Virginia House of Delegates to the Democrat 46, with only 5 seats left to count. Yes, it looks like the anti-Trump social justice liberal left snowflakes will be needing a new, higher level of safe spaces in which to cry, with the news that their cognitively challenged president and hair follicle scent expert is being systematically rejected by the American public. Just like many believe he was a few months ago, but that's another story. There is bad news. Then there is Joe Biden-level bad news for his administration. The question being, is this the start of the big Biden and Democrat Party slide out of favour, with CNN saying, McAuliffe's loss in a state that President Joe Biden won by double digits last year showed the enormous challenges that Democrats are facing next year as they attempt to maintain control of the US House and Senate. And reading through the US press, they seem to be having a hard time explaining why this state's governorship has flipped. Bret Stephens says in the New York Times that, days before it became clear that the Republican Glenn Youngkin would win Virginia's gubernatorial race, pollsters, pundits and political strategists were trying to explain why a race that was the Democrat Terry McAuliffe's to lose was on its way to being lost. But after going through a set of scenarios, I think he hit it when he said that it might have all been about Joe Biden, saying he is manifestly inept. Well, I think the world can see that. And his demonstration in how to snooze while attending what he keeps telling everyone is such an important event, the COP26 in Glasgow, doesn't add anything positive to the whole Biden image. And then there's his inability to get legislation through his own party, rising inflation, the Afghanistan debacle, and the chaos of the US southern border. Then there's that much reported plan of his to give $450,000 to families of illegal immigrants who get separated at the southern border. And when he was asked about that plan a couple of days ago by a Fox News correspondent, Biden just looked away, scratching his forehead. Not sure that plan will have gelled with the ordinary hard-pressed US voter and taxpayer. And the New York Times article also says that Youngkin focused on local issues, while McAuliffe ran a less than satisfactory campaign by trying to paint his opponent as something he calls a Trumpkin. Now, the Daily Telegraph is saying that the Biden administration has been thrown into deep turmoil by this result, which is, it says, the first major referendum on the Biden presidency. The election has been viewed as an early referendum on the tenure of Mr. Biden, which has been marked by slumping polls, the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan, and a struggle to pass his key domestic policies, it reports. But it's very hard to see where the Democrats go with this one. It's not like they can ditch Biden and repair everything by putting his deputy Kamala Harris in his place, is it? I'm not sure she would be seen as an positive addition. And the FT ran a piece on her a couple of days ago, basically saying that the Democrat Party will have to ditch both Biden and Harris if it wants to get anywhere in the 2024 presidential race. A race that might well see Donald Trump throwing his red MAGA baseball cap back into the ring. In fact, that is the most likely outcome. And could a battered and bruised Biden or a proven lackluster Harris ever hope to beat him? And if things keep going the way they are at present, the Democrats could soon end up losing control of both the House and the Senate, making Biden's or Harris's job almost impossible. Now, while everyone's been looking at this election and COP26, Vladimir Putin has been up to no good in the background, it seems. But before I get to that, I just want to say a massive thank you to all my Super Thanks, Patreon and PayPal supporters, as well as those that do buy a mug with my mug on it. Links in the descriptions box below. You really do help me keep this channel going. So what's the Russian President Vladimir Putin been up to then? Well, it appears that he has strangled gas supplies to the EU, with the Express saying it has been described as a major attack on Europe. Since Saturday, state-owned Russian gas supplier Gazprom has not been delivering gas to Germany through its Yamal pipeline via Poland, and since Sunday, Putin's gas giant has only been transporting half as much gas through Ukraine to Austria and southern Germany, it says. As a result, it says that the situation is getting increasingly more critical, and gas prices just keep going up. Well, this is what happens when you allow a despot to slip a leash around your neck. And Germany and the EU have effectively paid Putin to do just that. Although there was a story recently circulating that a gas pipeline explosion might have something to do with this. Anyway, energy security is fundamentally important, whatever the cause. And the worst of it is that the UK is at the end of that pipeline and the EU will think nothing of cutting us out. So we will probably be reliant on what extra we can get out of the fields that we already have that are operational, as well as supplies from Norway. And with LNG being bought up by the likes of China, the prices here will also probably just keep going up too. Unless it starts getting very sunny and very windy very soon. Exporting UK and EU fossil fuel drilling has proved very costly. How ironic that this is going on while everyone is obsessed with COP26. So what's your opinion on the Republican win in Virginia? Please like and comment below.